So when I got involved in the Chamber of Commerce and started coming to these meetings every month and being involved, one thing I realized right away was that Wayne King was everywhere. And Wayne was, to me at that time, Wayne was the hospital guy. You know, and for those of you who don't remember, there was a time when CEOs of the hospital came and went fairly frequently. Sometimes they would be involved in our community, sometimes they would not. We've not always had a Hal Leftwich. So Wayne represented the hospital on the Chamber of Commerce. But one thing I realized was that, I mean, if there was a meeting like this, Wayne was here. If it was a tourism committee meeting, Wayne was there. Parade lineup, Wayne was there. I mean, anything that was going on as far as the Chamber of Commerce goes, Wayne King was there. And it wasn't just chamber functions, it was community events as well. Ribbon cuttings, Wayne would be there. If it was the Memorial Day service at the VFW, Wayne would be there to give the invocation. If it was the Veterans Day service at the American Legion, Wayne would be there to give the invocation. It seemed like anywhere I went in the community, I bumped into Wayne King. And one thing that I asked him more than once as I got to know him over the years, I said, Wayne, how do you have time to do everything that you do? And he would usually joke and say something like his wife wouldn't let him stay at home. Matter of fact, he retired from Winfield Elementary School as PE teacher a few years ago. And I asked Wayne at the time, I said, are you going to also retire so you can spend more time at home? And he said, I'm going to have to find more to do because she's not going to let me stay at home with her. But that's who Wayne was. He was very much involved in anything going on in the community. And there's a saying, when one door opens, another one closes. We've all heard that. It's very true. But I also think sometimes those doors don't open. Sometimes those doors have to be open. And Wayne King was very good at opening doors. When the hospital closed down, he got together with some of his buddies and he started Human Outsource and started a new business. And then the hospital reopened and he was back at the hospital again. That didn't last. And he started another business working with at-risk youth. When Domino's Pizza closed its doors, and there's this building sitting across from the hospital that's shuttered and empty. And Oneida doesn't have a pizza restaurant that delivers. Wayne King started Baby J's Pizza. And I know he did that for Tara as much as anything, but he did, for a guy who seemed like he had his plate full already, this was just one more business responsibility for him. And, oh, by the way, in addition to all that, he was also pastor at New Salem Baptist Church for I think 30 years and doing all the things that being a pastor entails, which means being asked to preach funerals and being asked to preach weddings and being asked to go to the nursing home or visit sick people in the hospital and all that different stuff. And I asked him one time what it was like to be a bivocational pastor and do all the things a pastor has to do while also not only having a full-time job but doing all the other things that he did. And he said, as long as there's a need in this community that I can fulfill, and I'm able, I want to fulfill it. And that's something he said one time that I never forgot. Wayne King was president of this Chamber of Commerce multiple terms, and most of you who have been around for any length of time, you saw Wayne speak right here in this room on different subjects and get emotional. And that wasn't just a show with Wayne. I saw him get emotional in one-on-one conversations as well. We live in a society where you're not supposed to show emotion. Emotion is a sign of weakness, especially with men. You know, if you're a man, you're supposed to be stoic. You're supposed to be unemotional. But showing emotion is not really a sign of weakness. A lot of times, showing emotion is a sign of being passionate about something. And Wayne was extremely passionate about his work, about that hospital up on the hill, about this Chamber of Commerce. He was passionate about his church. He was passionate about his family, about his country. Wayne was passionate about his community. And so as we started talking about Person of the Year a few months ago or whatever it was, I immediately said it's got to be Wayne King, because if you go back to when we started doing this in 2013, Person of the Year has always been someone each year who has worked hard to make Scott County a better place. And they've done it in their own way for different reasons. But Wayne certainly did that. He spent his entire adult life doing that, trying to make Scott County a better place for everyone who lives here. And of course, that's more of a body of work over the years. In 2023, as we all know, Wayne was sidelined with his health battles. But one thing about Wayne, Wayne had a servant's heart, and I think everything that I've just said about Wayne, you could sum up by saying that Wayne had a servant's heart. And I want to tell a personal thing. When back in May, I had heard that Wayne was sick. I hadn't asked him, hadn't asked Stacy, but I'd heard enough through the grapevine, I guess, to know that Wayne was pretty sick. And I had a dirt bike accident, and I'd broken my leg and broken my ankle. And the day before I was scheduled for surgery, Wayne checked in on me just to see how I was doing and to tell me that he was praying for me. And I said, Wayne, I understand that you're having some issues too. And he said, he was very upfront. He said, I've got cancer, and it's not curable, but I start treatment tomorrow, and they're hoping that they can slow it down. And that spoke to me, because here's a guy who should be, I would think, overwhelmed with his own health battles, and he's taking the time to reach out to someone else who's battling something that is so minuscule compared to what he's going through. But when you have a servant's heart, that's what you do. And that's who Wayne was. Wayne had a servant's heart in everything that he did. And of course, we all hoped and prayed that Wayne would be able to be here today so that we could recognize him, let him know how much we appreciate him. God had other plans. We know Wayne is in a much better place now. But his wife Kim is here, his daughter Tara, his son Corey. Of course, his sister Kathy is always here with us. And we thank you guys so very much for being here today as we honor Wayne, and we just want to let you know that he meant a lot, not only to this Chamber of Commerce, but to this community. So the 2023 Scott County Chamber of Commerce and Independent Herald Person of the Year is Wayne Keaton.